Nice to see everybody. We got people signing in.
I'm sorry.
People signing in.
I haven't seen
It
anything.
said so that they can just join. at 5:30. Anybody here new parents to new to Torrington Public Schools? Oh, welcome. You're new as well. Welcome. Anybody else? No, everyone else is new. Yeah, just find a spot that's comfortable. Yes. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Gotta get prepared. How are you?
I don't even know. Or what? I'll leave that there since Dominic's with us. But we'll just have to all about it. Thank you so much.
Tom, are you gonna do this rotating for me, or
What do you mean,
like slide to slide?
Yeah, I'm gonna advance the slides.
All right, so can you, after, I'm gonna do the first 3 slides, and then we're gonna go to the PTO slide, which is near the end, and then back to slide 4.
Oh, okay.
All right, just because the PTO is gonna come here, and then they're gonna go over there.
Okay.
All right. Welcome, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. The one thing I was asked to tell you before we actually start is that this is going to be recorded. The camera is there, and we'll see whether you're in the shot or not. So if you don't want to be in the shot, just sit somewhere where you won't be. Just so your voice will also be recorded if you ask any questions. We're going to be doing a little tour at the end, so if you don't want to be on the recording and you want to ask a question, you can do it that time. So that would be fun. But it'll be going on our website for folks that can make it today. Just
There's nobody yet that's in community. Okay.
All right, so I should have started by telling you what it was. I'm Peter Michelson, and it's been here at Vogel in my fifth or so year here, and here next year too. So Vogel School, it's a really great place to be. The fact that we have kindergarten through 3rd grade is a really nice thing, something I really like. We've got a lot of kids right now, so that's something to just be aware of, and know that your kindergartners, when they're kindergartners, will very infrequently go above this. So this is about as high as they go. They go to their kindergarten classrooms here, the library, and everything else they do is downstairs. So you don't have to worry about that. Tom, can you just let me know if anything does sign in on the Zoom so I can let you know that they're being recorded.
Will do.
So welcome. We have 3 teachers with us here today. They'll be actually sharing most of the presentation because they are the kindergarten experts. And so they will, you want to introduce yourselves? So these are 3 of our 7 teachers. I predict that we'll still have 7 next year. But kindergarten is a little bit difficult to determine because sometimes our numbers change because it's really hard to predict. So put it as an 8, put it as a 6, but my money is on 7. So we're going to today get an introduction. That was that. A brief overview of the kindergarten program. So the teachers will go through the academic expectations and then the really important stuff like yes, we like to go to the bathroom and yes, and all of those things that we understand that kindergarten parents are probably a little more about. We've done this before. Registration right now. So if you haven't registered yet, we'll talk a little bit during the presentation about what the registration process is about. At the end, again, probably won't do that one on camera. But if you have any questions about registration, about what documents you need, things like that, you can ask me about them. And if I don't know, we're going to hold all the questions to the end if you don't mind. We'll have a little question and answer time then. So try to remember those questions and answer them if you have any. It's important along the way. So we're going to tour the kindergarten classroom. We're going to look at an art room. We saw art room, some music room. We get to the library, of course. And then we'll bring you by the gym. I think there's some basketball going on. So is anybody here 24 family? So we'll skip right to the next one. So this is the people that we need to know in kindergarten at Vogel. So we met 3 of the teachers already. Myself, the principal, Alden Pay is our assistant principal. She's here tonight too. She's in the other room with our Spanish speaking families. Our secretaries and our nurses are people that will kind of along the way, social workers as well. So if those are people that you are looking to make contact with because you have something that you want help with registration, or you have some worries about either mental health or physical health, those are the people that you want to contact. And if you forget who they are, just call us and we can we skip ahead to the details?
Which one? The PTO?
It's almost one of the last few slides. Because PTO is really important, and we wanted to make sure that it was the last thing you got to get to remember. Our PTO, and here are our PTO co-presidents. They're going to introduce themselves and they'll share up to 2 minutes of information about.
You all want to let me prize your own role. My name's Jeff, and this is Allison Crespo. We're co-presidents for the Vogel and Southwest School PTO. We do the sister school setup so that K through 5 PTO is all one PTO. So as your kids age and go through school, you have the same PTO supporting you the entire way. First of all, you're all very fortunate to be here at Vogel. My children have had 2 of these wonderful teachers. The entire staff has been great here. I have a little 3rd grader who's here now, and my son who's in 6th grade was also a teacher at Vogel. So had a great experience, very supportive staff. You're all fortunate to be here. On the PTO side of things, we have a Vogel Wetmore PTO page. You can find it at just Vogel Wetmore PTO on Facebook. Allison handles a lot of social media site and does a lot of posts for upcoming events, reminders of fun things like spirit days and bring this to school or pajama days, any of those kinds of things, or if there's special events at night and there's volunteer opportunities, all that stuff is posted as well as sent home to children in their backpacks or their virtual backpacks, which I'm sure virtual lights things like that as the night goes on. Other things, we have to do a meeting every month. We have a meeting at 5:30. It's 5:30. We rotate between the 2 schools, Vogel and Southwest. So it's great. You can see both buildings throughout the course of the year, so you're kind of prepared for your kids will have when they reach 4th grade. We do a meeting a month, and at that meeting, we talk about all kinds of events that are coming. So far this year, we did a rigor for Welcome Back Night. We also did a fall festival, which was amazing. We did an outdoor event on Saturday night, which is relatively new since the pandemic. We had last year we did pumpkin decorating. It's all decorated pumpkins. We had activities going on outside, games for them. This year we did ornaments. We had people making little masks for their kids. We had outdoor games. There was a cakewalk game. Kids painted on the playground. All kinds of fun. There's snacks and things. We also did a movie night just last month. We had 250 plus people on the whole Wetmore Gymnasium. And we saw a movie, and it was Crocodile. So we had 250 people here. We made it super affordable. We had the night was free for admission.
About 3 a block.
Yes, 247 had a ball. But it doesn't matter. That's what this is about. When they're watching the movie or here with their friends, it's a social opportunity. It's great for families to get to know one another. Those peers they have in school, so you just get to see what's going on. We have a great staff that supports us. And at many of our events, they will show up and we'll be there. The kids love it because they walk by. They're down there. It's great. So we ask if you have time, keep following us. Come to a meeting every so often. We post an agenda. We send it home to your kids in their backpack. It also comes through Power Schools. They'll tell you about. There's lots of reminders. And even if you just know somebody who can help, or if you have a connection to something, you can donate something to an event. It's a really group effort. We have a lot of fun. So we look forward to getting to see all of the events at your special prize. And I hope all your kids have a great new year. And thank you for your time.
And just to add, we have a very supportive PTO, but they're small. And we want to make sure that we hear everybody's voice. So we would very much love for all of you, bring a friend, come to our PTO meetings, share your great new ideas. Because we tend to do the same things year after year, but we'd love to change things up, fresh things as well. And we need volunteers to make these things happen. So the money rolls in, people do support us in the fundraising, we get better. We really need the people here to help us out with that. Sorry about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even an hour or two a year, it could be as little as one event somebody volunteers for, it makes a big difference to you. And kids, they love seeing their parents.
And there's things you can do at home too. You know, making tasks for the holidays or things like that. You know, there's no interest, that kind of thing.
We love our culture. Thank you again.
Thank you, Governor, for sharing your.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Paula Diasky, and many of you have already received emails from me because I've been welcoming families that are just registering, and I've been sending emails out about this event too. So if you see anything from CSLC Library at Torrington.org, that's me. My role in the school system is I'm a family liaison for families, really birth all the way through third grade, but I really focus in on kindergarten, preschool into kindergarten. So I try to support families with questions, maybe help with registration, connections in the community, connections in schools. I do a lot of that work with families. I have a colleague named Jenny Garcia, so we make some things from her as well as emails. So she works with a lot of families, a lot of Spanish speaking families as well. So we work together and do a lot of the same things. This is what we call our stepping stones sheet, and this is just some of the events that we have for incoming families, just to help you feel a little bit more acclimated and welcome into our school system. Because we're really happy that you're here, and we're happy that your child is going to be joining us. But I don't know if Peter mentioned this because I wasn't here, but we really want everybody to feel like we're family. So we value you, we value your opinion, we value your support with the work that we do here. So this sheet has QR codes on it, and you may see this all over the place. We're going to be hanging them up all over the community because we really want to get people registered as soon as we can so we can get connected early. Our events that we have are the kickoff event, which is tonight, of course. Then we have our kindergarten fair in March 25th. Then we have a Ready Set Family Night at Kids Play in May. And then we have our bus orientation right before school starts on August 25th. And then, of course, the first day of school, which is August 31st, which is a Thursday. So if you use any of these QR codes, or you want to go onto the website, I'm going to show you where you can find all the information you would ever want for kindergarten. So if you can click on to, it should be a link there. Yeah, okay. So we're at Torrington.org. This is our main website. We moved our kindergarten registration to a more prominent place so that parents can find it. It's always been difficult to find things in here. So you'll see student registration right here. And if you go over, you'll see kindergarten registration, Google Site English, and then kindergarten registration, Google Site Spanish. So we'll just go over here. So you can go to the English one, click on that. Yeah, and this one down here is just, it's grades 1 through 12. Did I catch that?
I don't know, maybe.
I always do this, I always touch the screen, so that's.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where when you go to the site, this is the first thing you're going to see. And this is our curriculums page. And if you scroll, you go up a little bit, this will bring you right to kindergarten registration. Click right on that, and that's will give you all the information that you need to know about kindergarten registration. Here's quick links to important documents. Here's quick links to our events, and here's the contact us, so that you know who to contact if you have questions. You can follow.
If you're on your phone, which is only the start stage, you just keep scrolling down. It's a little different. You get down to the same kindergarten.
Yeah, you just click right on the picture. There's an English and a Spanish. It brings you right to this website. And then this is contact us. You can follow the library, which is Community Family Learning Center Resource Library, which is part of the library. And I work with families through the library. These are our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube accounts. You can follow and I post things about what's happening. I have information about the school. Our Facebook account. accounts, so you can go on and you can find that information and follow the Vogel School as well. Just quickly, I know that this is so hard to, but I think registration right here, that's a quick one there. You scroll down a little bit, click right on that, that will right to the registration page. So that's the first thing you need to do, register online. Second thing is to make sure that you bring documents, get documents to the school. Yeah, and this is what it wants you to create an account. And then one thing I will ask that it's really important to try to remember is to keep your password, your passcode, so that when you set up your account, when you have other children coming in later on, you'll need that same information later on. So it's easier to keep that. So if you could go back to the, and scroll down a little bit. This is information on what you need to bring. I'm not going to go through it all because it's here, and then if you scroll a little bit more, this is information on how, where, and how to bring information to Torringford, and to keep going, that's the Vogel. And then this is worth watching. This is a quick video of one of our secretaries sharing everything that has visuals so that you know what you need. If you have specific questions, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to the secretaries. Everyone's here to help. If you don't, you're all here, so if you aren't sure, you can click on this and it will bring you right to the street list. You just find your street and it will tell you your school. And then if you need a birth certificate, you can go, you can use, this is actually the link, it goes right to the website for the Torrington Town Hall, and they will help you get the birth certificate, form birth certificate. And then a little bit further down, okay. So there are little right here, you can see these are all different things. So we have welcome messages, we have registration help, you can click on that. Into our documents, you can copy them and make copies for yourself. Our income payments, we have a welcome, our welcome page, all about kindergarten, parenting page. This is about my library, you can click on that, bring you to my website. And then the community preschool information, if you have a young one, you can check that preschool. I help a lot of families find preschool placements for their kids. So that's something else that I can help you with. And then there's a lot of other resources here. So please take the time, and it changes because I'm always updating. So please check that. And again, if you have any questions, time for you to go right down the help page. Click on the help page, and then that's Jenny and these are the two secretaries. You can all information and have just right here. So you can just make sure that you reach out to one of us. I'm going to be adding principals' names in there too, so we're all here. You know, I can keep that. Sorry. Actually, that's one that's actually yes. If you need a birth certificate and your child's not born in Torrington, you can actually still get your child's birth certificate from Torrington. They will reach out and get it from the town that your child is born. So just follow the link that I showed you in there.
So now we're going to have to get into what school is like. Just to reiterate what I'll just say, any questions about registration? I mean, the website is wonderful. I mean, it's terrific, but ask anyone who can help you out with that. Our school focuses on these three things: being responsible, respectful, and safe. And you'll hear your students talk about that all the time. We are constantly building character and things they can do to do those three things. All of Torrington Public Schools has the same guiding beliefs. I just want to focus on the last line of it. Our instruction is really designed for students' academic, social, and emotional needs. And as someone said earlier, it's like a family. We really want them to be independent in life, but they want to be part of the family, part of our community as well. So now we're going to get kind of into just the all things kindergarten to get guys ready, which is all the exciting part. And turn so
Shall I go?
so just the next one.
Next one, okay.
These are some of the behaviors that we encourage and develop throughout the kindergarten year. Children will be playing cooperatively, learning to listen to others, learning to return, understanding their own feelings and others' feelings, and all kinds of different problem-solving opportunities. Children really learn best in an environment that is safe and secure, where they know what the expectations are. So we spend a lot of time teaching them exactly what the expectations are and how to navigate all kinds of different things that may come up along the way. Some things that you can do at home to help your child get ready for this aspect of kindergarten are just establishing some routines at home, giving them some independence, supporting independence so that they know how to do things like put on their own jackets, get ready for their day, get themselves ready for bed at night, all of that with support. And as far as understanding their own feelings and others' feelings, we know big feelings come up all the time. That's part of being a human being. So, just helping them learn how to talk about their feelings and learn ways to solve problems for handling their big feelings that they have. Setting up a good bedtime routine is important at this time because kids do best when they're well rested and ready for their day. So setting up a bedtime without screens is a great thing to practice.
Oh, with books.
With books,
With
yes.
books.
The kids learn in a lot of hands-on ways throughout the day. They have a lot of structured choice in the day so that they're able to learn how to make some decisions given a narrow number of choices. So we support them in their they do a lot of exploring of a variety of materials and then talk about what they're noticing with each other to really construct their learning. It's a very active day. There's not a lot of sitting still. There's some, but there's a lot of moving throughout the classroom in different groupings. So they stay busy all day long for sure.
Okay. So our typical day in kindergarten, they come in, pick up their things in their locker. So they're all excited to see us. And we have we usually have like at the tables when they come in, some morning work to do or some table toys just to kind of, ease into our day. And we'll do that for a few minutes. And then we have our morning meeting where we have a message written out. And as the year progresses, we have the children fill in what letters are missing. So they get a kick out of how you read it, as personally I read it without, the letters and the missing. So like today, instead of today. So they have to figure out, what word is that? It's one letter. So they really get a kick out of that as the year goes on. And then we have our reading workshop, and the kids are reading independently. We're having also small groups with the children, learning how to read and work on letters and just do a lot of different things that won't show us that a little bit more. And then have writing time and working on learning some words, we call them now. That's always changing. So they're all sectors. And then they have our lunch and recess time, and half hour lunch, half hour recess, and we also have our specials. So we have music, we have library, which is art, PE, which is gym, running,
We'll get more to it.
they have a healthy snack time as well. Usually the afternoons, the kindergarten does eat early. Time does change. Usually we are waiting. And then we have social studies, and then at the end of the day, we have a playtime, which the children get the opportunity to play with their friends, and they just learn to use those social interactions with one another. And then we end our day with a closing song, and then we dismiss. A lot. So, and they're tired by the end of it. So, it's important to get that rest and go to bed. By 8 o'clock or whenever decent time, so they do get their rest. Because in the beginning of the year, they'll come back, exhausted, they'll be tired, they'll fall asleep in class, and they're tired and elephants in the beginning.
Because sometimes I have to wake someone, so.
But they are tired, it's very, very. So, and it's
So I was gonna ask, and since you brought it up, I think it's perfect. How do you create during the day, each day? Kindergarten, they're doing that.
Right.
But like, what's the best way for us as parents to transition them when they're going to school programs where they have to?
Right, right. Well, I would say you have this summer to kind of work that out, you know, kind of gradually, a little bit more, I guess.
And I think in all honesty, sometimes it's just kind of really that cold sort of thing, like, no, I mean, I'm serious, because if they're in the daycare, and I know, like, when I work, when they're required to have that time, so you have to give it. And so if they're going right from a daycare and right to school, as the students said, they're gonna be tired at first, but they're so excited to do the activities. And in the afternoon, we tend to have a little less academics, where we finish the day with some playtime and things like that. Unfortunately, you guys kind of get the end of it when they get home after school, and they're just like, this and exhausted. But then they get used to it quicker than you think, because they do like school and stuff. So sometimes you almost can't transition because of whatever situation you're in, but they do get used to it.
And that really getting the teachers know that, yeah, this is where the kids are. So we'll, the expectations will be lower, and especially after, so. So there are. So I mean, more or less than others.
Right,
So ready.
I just want to pop in really quickly because I'm next door on the presentation for Spanish speaking families, but my name is Alda Fay and I'm the assistant principal here at Vogel, and I love this school. It is an amazing school. We have amazing teachers and wonderful families, and I'm so excited that your kids are going to be a part of it. So just want to introduce yourself.
The principal's pretty good too.
Kindergarten teams. As the teacher said, the first thing they do is they enter, they usually play at their toys, or they might do some coloring or things like that. I did not say this, most people are concerned about buses and things like that. On the first day of school, and actually honestly the first week, the kindergarten teachers go and greet the kids as they're getting off the bus, we bring them up to our classrooms. Obviously, they have no idea where to go. So we were there getting them off the bus. There is a ton of adults that help your kids get off the bus. They line the hallways, you get them upstairs. So you don't need to worry about that. And really emphasize, like, we're gonna be taking the bus that first day, they take the bus to school, so the bus drivers get used to them. They get used to the schedule, the kids go right from the beginning, what to do. And it is amazing how quickly they understand where everything is in this school. I mean, and as Mr. Michelson said, we really never go upstairs, but it is amazing how quickly they get it all. I mean, quicker than we probably got it when we started my year. So that's right from the beginning, to help them get upstairs and things like that. And then once they know where to go, we're lining the hallways, greeting them. The three of us, our classrooms are right next to each other every morning. The three of us are in the hallway, talking with the kids, greeting them, asking them how they're doing, ready to start their day. So we always start the day on a very positive, happy note.
And that starts outside where the adults are greeting the kids. So if you're dropping them off or if they're getting off the bus, there's adults there that will make sure they get into the building safely.
And then most of the time, once the day begins, these are two examples of what our morning message might look like. In number corner, they'll hear the kids talking about number corner. That's basically calendar skills, and we do a lot of math skills with it. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about math some more, but typically that's how the day starts. And many of them go to daycare, kind of used to that kind of thing as well.
So we practice reading all day long. Really, so much of what we do revolves around literacy. So we started at the beginning of the year working on letter reads, how to write letters, sounds that letters make. And then as at this point in the year, very exciting, our kids are starting to tap and blend sounds together to make words. It's hard to believe that you're in moments right now when you're doing that years from now, they will. So it's just really, it's such an exciting year to watch the progression with reading. We have several different times in our day that we focus on that. There's a time for kids to work independently, with pre-reading and reading skills. There's a time when they work with a partner. There's a time when there's a small group working with a teacher. So that we use a lot of variety of materials and games, to keep it interesting and entertaining, and we're always so proud of the progress that we make. So over, from now until then, some things you can do at home, just read to your child. We do a lot of just talking about the book, so, helping your kids learn how to talk about their favorite part, characters, make predictions about what might happen, playing rhyming games, just when you're in line at the grocery store, walking down the street together, there's a sign, behind the sign, so any kind of building that awareness of language really helpful to that kind of thing.
Okay, writing. Some kids love it, and some kids are like, we all have different things we don't have sometimes. But, and this is like an awesome thing, because the kids really, grow so much in their life from the beginning to the end. And we start out writing by having a whole class reading lesson. And then they have the opportunity to write on their own in their own books. They have their own writing folder, and they learn how to keep all that organized. And we learn different types of writing. They start by telling stories, and they basically just by drawings. So our first paper we'll have is just a box, and then we just draw a picture. And basically, they tell us what their story is about, and it has an actual picture. So that's what we kind of teach them. And then transition to drawings and words. And that's, where we are, they're starting with tapping the words and that they're learning. And they just shut the sound out. And they write the sounds they hear. So it's not going to be spelled like it should for some things, but, so it's.
Next slide, we see some examples.
Oh, okay. So the next slide, here we go. So this is your scribbling that you'll see. And that's okay. That's where they all are. You're not aware of the book Leo the Late Bloomer. Everyone gets on their own pace at the end, and then they have, little pictures, and then we'll start to write letters. So you can go to the next one. And then you see, and then here, they're writing words. And eventually they'll get to where they have space in between the words and the punctuation, and, it's, they get there, they need to the end of this thing. But it's something that you can even, even during the school year practice, what they did over there, so even practice the writing at home. I always say to my students that we have to learn at school and also just reinforce what we're teaching, and then okay, so
And one thing that you'll find is that the more that your students talk to you and the more that you talk to them, the better they will be at reading, writing, honestly, everything, communicating their own feelings. So even now, we may not be able to write yet, as she said, what do you do? We can have them tell you the story so they understand that that's still a story that they're telling as well. With math, you could see some examples of things we do in math. We use workplaces or workstations. Kids practice writing numbers, they work together, we do cool class lessons. As I said, we have that number corner that involves a lot of math skills throughout the whole year. We focus a lot on what we call a 5 frame, which has, like, say, 5 squares in it. And if there's 1 dot, you need 4 more to make 5. So understanding numbers like that, and the same thing with the 10 frames. You can imagine how that would be. So just to understand those skills, we of course talk about things about recognizing and writing your numbers. Those are things you could always do at home. I remember when my kids were young, and the things we like to do is they're like, oh, look at all these pieces of cereal, you know, and you're like, oh, just count them. Or you're in the grocery store, what number aisle are we in? You know, little things like that where they don't even realize they're learning about numbers or knowing numbers and things like that. They love those little kinds of games. We also do some basic adding, subtracting, especially like adding one and subtracting one. Show them what like the number equations are like, and they get the hang of it as the year goes on.
Okay. So we have 3 main science units. We start the year learning all about weather and how to dress ourselves and get ready for different kinds of weather and how to be a weather observer. And then we move into forces in motion. So learning about how we can make objects move by pushing and pulling them. And then we talk about the needs of plants and animals. We weave a lot of that into our playtime at the end of the day so that the kids really get to learn about the different science concepts in a small group way where they can experiment and talk about it. Most of our social studies work that we do in kindergarten is just about our community and building the social skills that they need. We have, we use our second step program, which very explicitly teaches some emotional regulation, learning how to identify different emotions and how best to handle them, just how to be part of the community.
So your child most likely will receive an iPad. When we were COVID times, they had Chromebooks, so but, and then there'll be a paper you have to fill out for that. And most likely they'll stay in the classroom, but we do apps such as Lexia, which is a reading app. We do Freckle, which is our math app, and Epic, where they actually read lots of books. So they really enjoy those 3 apps while they are at school. That's, you know, that's usually what we do for reading and for math.
This is one component of our community app. It's a small
One thing that parents are often concerned about is how we go about doing our food. As of right now, in Torringford, we are still receiving free breakfast and free lunch. If that changes, there will be updates, so hear about it. So that's something we really cannot 100% comment on. But kids can have breakfast here. And what they do is they get off the bus, they go right to the cafeteria, they eat their breakfast. Usually we ask, especially in kindergarten, that the parent and their kids can eat breakfast here to let the teacher know, just so we make sure they're getting breakfast. It's a little confusing for them at the beginning. And then lunchtime, this is the Torringford cafeteria. This is our cafeteria. We bring the kids down to the lunchroom. They always have the choice of like the hot lunch. They can have a bagel, they have peanut jelly, sun butter jelly. I think there's turkey and cheese this year as well. And they get that choice, they pick it, they have all the stuff that goes with it, all these fruits and vegetables, milk, that kind of thing. We show them where to go in line. The cafeteria is monitored by adults. They take a look, make sure they're eating their lunch, that the kids know how to clean it up. We talk about safe, you know, eating the right way, respectful way, things like that. We always tell parents, you know, if you're concerned that your child's not eating for some reason, to let your teacher know so we can kind of investigate that. Sometimes, actually more often than not, when that's happening, the child's just chit-chatting the entire time instead of eating their lunch. So usually if we find that out, we'll talk to the people who are monitoring lunch and be like, you kind of encourage this child to talk less, eat a little bit more. But they get to talk, you know, during lunch. It's a, you know, social time. They learn how to, you know, socializing appropriately, like adults do. We, as said earlier, we have snack time kids in the afternoon. We ask that you send in something healthy, something small. It's like a 10-minute snack. And we encourage people to send in empty water bottles with their child, because what typically happens is sometimes there's a leak, a spill. If you have a library book in there, a reading envelope, it gets all wet and in the backpack. And the kids fill them up here, we empty them before they go home. We just ask that you do that. We also ask that we really encourage water instead of juice. And That's.
It's also really helpful with that, to make sure if you're sending a lunch also, to make sure the kids know what's their
Yes.
snack and what's for lunch. Otherwise, we get to snack time, they say, oh my gosh, I ate all that.
Right.
Or they think they brought lunch from home, but it's snack.
Have a pack separately.
Yeah.
So every week, your child will go to 4 different specials. We have art class, music, PE or gym, and library. Library, they'll get to, after the first few weeks, I think they break a little book and it'll come back to school every week and exchange.
Outdoor play, so they love recess time. So usually our recess is after our lunchtime. So, and we do, just so you know, we do go out when it can't be, below 20 days. So, or maybe, we'll stick in. But, for the most part, we're outside, as long as we get out there, the kids love it. And we do ask that you, dress your child in rubber sole shoes, closed-toe shoes, so they can run around and be safe. They're, just rocks aren't the best, so they, fall off their feet and they fall, and so, so we say to say sneakers, and I know it's hard for the girls, so they can wear their big shoes. I remember I was one of those girls too, patent leathers, all their stuff, but, so you just wanna, be mindful, you want them to run and get their energy out, and, have fun playing with their friends, so they can go on the play skate. For kindergarten, we don't allow them on the monkey floor, so, they can go up and down the ladders, which works there, chain that they can climb, and slides, and swings, and, because we don't push them on the swings, so that's probably a good thing to practice with your child during the summer, if they are, it's a little tricky for them to move themselves on a swing, so, and, that's that. Oh, and as we get, everything should be labeled with their name in it, because if it does get lost in the left in the playground, or somewhere in the cafeteria when they go to breakfast, we do have a lost and found, which does fill up pretty quickly, so, everybody has their reindeer unicorn earmuffs right now, and those are, item, and just, write their name on the headband or wherever, the jackets and the stuff, usually there are labels that you can write it with, and, just making sure all their clothes are labeled.
So we're getting towards the end here. The last thing we want to say is, it's just about dismissal, and again, this is a big concern of families right from the beginning. Those first couple of weeks of school, we are constantly double checking the bus numbers, kids have bus tags, making sure they're getting on the right bus, that sort of thing. It is very, 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 very important if your child is going somewhere else after school, they're not taking the bus home, that you, over the summer, when you get the year, you send a note, like you're gonna be picking them up every day, you need to send in a note. But the big problem we run into is that if your child, for whatever reason, on any random day is gonna be picked up, like a parent pickup, you have to send a note in with your child. You can't call the school last minute and say, oh, I'm gonna pick them up. We ask that before 2:45 in the afternoon, that any calls that need to be made are made and your child gets picked up by that time, because starting after 2:45, we're starting debt and dismissal mode, and it gets very confusing for the children, and honestly for the teachers, and all of a sudden we're getting phone calls, so-and-so's parent pickup. Your child's safety is our biggest concern, and we want to make sure they get home to the right place. If for some reason you are running late, whatever, you're not going to get there when the bus drops your child off, the bus driver will never drop off a kindergarten child with no parent there. They'll bring the child back to school, you'll get a call. Obviously, I don't recommend this. This is not something the children are very fond of. They get a little scared and stuff. But just so you know, no one will ever be dropped off at your house. If you know an emergency comes out, call the school at any time, of course. We never want to send a child to a house that's not there. And then, we walk the kids out to the buses. We have 2 weeks of buses. You'll get a handle after the first couple of weeks of school, exactly what time the bus is gonna come, because the first couple of weeks of school, they always are running late, we're getting used to everything, that sort of thing. You'll have a rough idea. On the website, they'll put the bus routes as we get much closer to school. A lot of people want to know school. We let the kids in starting at about 8:40 into the building, and around 3:25-ish is kind of when 3:30 here pickup starts type thing. So keep that in your mind when you're thinking about your own work schedules. If you need to arrange for after school care, we have an advance that's right in our building that provides before school and after school care. And those are things you want to get in contact with and learn more about. We did the PTOs. I think we have just a couple more things. Oh, yeah. So Ms. Paul's going to talk about some future meetings, and then Ms. Greer is going to talk a little bit about attendance, and then we're fairly done for questions and that.
Well, I mentioned this before, but she got her stepping stone sheet. It's all on there, but it's mostly online. So our next event is going to be the Kindergarten Fair, which is on March 8th, Saturday, at 11 at Torringford School. And there will be activities for your children to do, and there will be teachers there for both schools, and community members will be there with the hip hop guy, and it's really a lot of fun. It's 15 years. We know to see everybody in that. We have family night display, Vogel families, that's May 17th, there's 7, so we can save the date for that. We're just going to have some activities for parents to learn some things that you can do to help your child get ready for kindergarten, and just have fun and display. And then there's the meeting bus orientation, which
I wouldn't write down that date. I'm not sure that's solid yet, but
okay. It's,
perhaps.
yeah, so it usually is the Friday before school starts, that's what I was told, but, so it's okay, and just know that that is coming, that's a great date, I will absolutely let you know, I'm emailing everybody, so once you register, I get all of your emails and I update everybody, so again, please keep an eye out for my emails from and then there's a welcome back in September, and you'll be getting all that information much sooner. We hope to see you at these events. It's okay, we can't do everything. We understand everybody's busy, but you could try to make 1 or 2 of these events, if not all. We'd love to see you, and we get a chance to ask questions and meet teachers and learn a little bit more. Oh, and this is important. It's really important to know that when you register online, that's the first part, but your child is not completely registered until all the paperwork is in to the school. That is when your child will get a placement. Once it starts with placements, if the paperwork is not complete, your child will not get a placement until the paperwork. And placements start sometime in the summer, and the letters that tells you which child which teacher your child is going to. Usually comes the first or second week of August. Is that correct? Right. So you'll be receiving that information at that time. So as soon as you can get your information to the school, the better. If you're running into problems, if you help, we need to help. That's what we're all here for. Wendy, the director of this building, is phenomenal. She's the secretary. She knows everything that you know about the paperwork organization. So we the principals, the world.
The one piece of paperwork just to kind of think about is that medical form. That's the one that you have to have updated physical immunizations, all of those things that are required by the state before school starts. But if you, like last August 3rd, your child had their appointment and their insurance won't cover another wellness appointment until next August 4th. Just be in contact and let the nurses know, and they'll really understand about that. You need to have an updated for
on the website, on our website, we have a page next week from the nurses. So they're going to be making a video of everything you need to know about that department, and I'll have their names, their faces, and their applications. So just look for
All right, so good attendance is extremely important. We saw what the school day looks like for a kindergartner. That means if they come in late, 3:45 is when we try to shut the doors, so we want 8:45. When we want them in the building. So if you're going to drop off, you want them dropped off before that 8:45 time. We do open the doors at 8:30, so there's that 15-minute kind of window for you. Our buses sometimes run a little later. If the students come on a bus and they get here past that 8:45 minute mark tardy, we'll get them their breakfast and we'll get them up to the bus. But when we look at those things that they're learning and to fall behind by a couple of days, a month, that all starts to add up. That being said, if they have a fever or diarrhea or throwing up or any kind of thing that might be contagious, we don't want them to come to school. So your first 9 absences, we just get a phone call from you that morning or the night before on our absence line with voicemail, and then the next day when they return, we'll send just a note from yourself. Once we get past 9 days, the state requires that we have a doctor's note for anything medical, or there's a few other exceptional reasons why they can be out. If you have a funeral to attend, a court date, which court dates, those are other excused reasons why they do this school. But we really want them here every single day when they're healthy enough to be here. So plan your vacations for when they're on break. Understand that do I get it, it costs a little more, but we're teachers that sometimes makes more vacation too, so we're paying us pretty soon. But we really want them here every day. It's so important for you to send that message that your education is important. And really where the electronic attendance becomes an issue is when it has 10% or more of the school year. And that turns out to be 18 days throughout the school year. So it's really not that many that we have to report to the state of Connecticut or the state of all our students that are property. And excused or unexcused, they still do count towards that.
We did that.
We did that already? Yeah. So thank you for joining us. I want to, you're 6 months away from your students starting school or so. So I'm not going to share all of the details about how our drop-off works and pick up and all of that for a few reasons. One is we may change by then. We're always trying to improve it, and then the other is 6 months away. But what you do want to think about is that start time of school. Again, you have to drop them off between 8:30 and 8:45, or put them on the bus by usually about 15 minutes, maybe a little longer before that, depending on where you are on the route. And then our pickup at the end of the day, we again begin at around 3:30, 3:35, and that ends at 3:50. So you need to pick your child up, or have somebody pick them up at 3:50, or the bus stop to get them. So keep that in mind as far as childcare things, because now's the time to start. Any questions for any of us at this point? Maybe stop the recording.